You ever have so many gifts that you don't know which one is going to actually take you to the next level in your career? I decided that I would sit down and I would really just think for a second. And when I thought for a second, I had to listen to my latest prophecy for the year. My prophecy said that I would be speaking all over the globe. And that was something that I hadn't been focusing on. I wasn't focusing on speaking. I was focusing on my gifts. Then I realized my gifts were my portfolio to be able to present to the world my story, my ambition. And I would do an introduction to my Trillionaire coaching. You don't know what it is that's going to take you to the next level. I didn't know what it was going to take me to the next level. All I knew was that I was struggling. I was having a hard time. I was frustrated. I was joyful and I was sad. I was joyful that I was blessed enough to have a gift that I could work. I was sad because in the midst of me working my gifts, I was still struggling. I was having a hard time. I was getting in one position and still struggling with something else. Having a hard time moving, getting around. It seemed like every time I got to a point where I was moving fluently as far as my transportation, it was like something happened to my vehicle. So my test was the same test over and over and over again. Something trying to slow me down as far as transporting. It's hard when you're trying to transport yourself to a business meeting, to go meet someone, to socially network, to market, to plan, to sell your products and your services. It's hard when you can't even get to those places. Now I know what I saw in myself and what I focused on. But through it all, you know how lonely it feels to lie down at night and you know it's more inside of you than what you're doing and what you're living. And you want to get there, but you're not sure what exactly it is that's going to take you where you need to be. And you know that struggle is something that is for real. Like I struggle so hard financially. And even in my financial struggle, I was still inspiring, motivating other people, man, go get it, grind, hustle. And every night I was sitting to myself, struggling, having a hard time, focusing on being a leader, leading other people to be inspired, to be motivated, to do this and do that. I was telling people that they were going to be millionaires and billionaires. And I was struggling. I was having a hard time. I couldn't understand why something inside of me felt so strong about being wealthy and being rich and being prosperous that I could tell other people to be millionaires and billionaires. And on top of me sharing with them that they would be millionaires and billionaires, I was telling them that I was a trillionaire. Because I was motivated. I was inspired to get up out of my struggle. Nobody gave me anything. Nothing was handed to me. Nothing was handed to me. Everything that I have right now in my possession, my assets, I did that shit on my own and it was hard work. It was dedication. Nobody compensated me to work and grind for my business. No one cut me a check to own what I own now. I did it because I was inspired. I was motivated that there was something more inside of me than the struggle that I was going through. And I got frustrated because I had done so much work and I still hadn't yet received the financial increase that I saw when I looked at myself. So I'm like, what's going on? What is it that I'm missing? I sat down, I thought, I paced the floor, and it just did not feel right for me to even need or desire help from anyone. I didn't want anyone to help me. Because I felt like if my gifts are really gifts from God, then they should serve me. They should help me. They should help me flourish. They should help me multiply. That's how I felt. And since I felt like that, I was aggravated and frustrated that I was struggling because I couldn't understand. I couldn't even understand how I could be struggling. What was it that I was doing, or what was it that I wasn't doing? And when it came to me, Empress, MONISOI Humes, when it came to me, it came to me in a way that you need to speak. You need to tell your story. You need to tell people what you've been through. You need to tell them how hard it is. You need to tell them how you struggle. You need to tell them how you didn't even know how that you were going to keep your lights on. You didn't even know how you were going to pay your phone bill. You didn't even know how you were going to eat. You didn't know if you were going to be cold at night or hot at night. You didn't know. You didn't know how you were going to pull it off. There I was. I called my promoter on the phone and I tell him we're getting ready to go to the next level and we're going to give it everything that we got. We're going to gather the numbers on everything that we need in order for this shit to go to the next level. Let's get the numbers. We got 2 weeks to put this together. We got 2 weeks to create a plan that's going to turn up everything that we're doing. I was struggling. I was having a hard time trying to figure it out. Where is it going to come from? But something inside of me was so inspired and so ambitious and so motivated that I spoke it into existence. I spoke into existence. When I checked my email and I was checking my email, I was seeing numbers. I was seeing numbers. I was seeing a way for me to take what I was doing to the next level. I wanted to take it to the next level. So in me taking it to the next level, I knew that something was bound to come from what I was doing. I couldn't go backwards. Going backwards for me was going to work for someone. Getting a job, I tried that already. It didn't work. I felt like it was a waste of my time. I felt like it was more in me. I felt like I was lowering myself every single day that I woke up. Every time I walked into the office space of an employer, I felt like I was lowering myself. Because I am a boss. I knew that I was a boss. So it made me sick to my stomach to know there was more in me than getting up every day and going to work for someone else or hustle for someone else's business. I tried it. I tried to do it for a paycheck. I figured, like, if I got a paycheck, that I could take that money and sow that money into the vision that I have, and I felt like I was lowering myself every single day that I did it. Like, no one could understand and grasp where I was coming from to be able to see this woman, this empowered woman, this inspired woman, this motivated woman. No one could see where I was coming from. They couldn't look at me and understand. Especially close to me, people close to me could not grasp or understand why I would struggle for something that didn't even seem like it was going to happen. Why would I struggle for that? Why would you do that? It makes absolutely no sense. And I still had the ambition and the faith enough to say that I am going to be rich. I said it in a way that it was so convincing that I brought people around me into the faith of the fact that I knew I was going to be rich. I seen it. I saw it. I spoke it into existence. And I was struggling. I was having a hard time. I was lying down every single night trying to figure out what is it that I need to do to take myself to the next level. How can I achieve what I need to achieve and take myself to the next level in my life, in my career? And it came to me, you need to speak. You need to tell your story. I didn't feel like I would even get this far because I was so weak in faith. I didn't feel like I was going to make it through some nights. It was so hard for me. Tossing and turning and crying and wondering why I was going through what I was going through. In relationships, falling in love and heart getting broken and it not working and separating and starting all over again. What it was doing to me mentally. Because I was chasing something that I saw inside of me. And I was living with this, dealing with this. You know how hard it is for me as a woman to have children and have a vision of legacy to give them a life that they've never seen ever before? Being able to pass down to them in the next generation and the generation after that. Of having to live my life every single day, making sacrifices, even sometimes not even seeing my own children, to give them something that I didn't have. Grinding, focusing, staying focused on the same thing every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Same routine every week. The only difference was at the end of my week, I looked at the whole week and said, you know what, I don't like that. I'm not doing that again. Hey, yeah, I like that. I'm going to do that next week. Grinding consistently, not going into the next day being the same person. I refuse to be the person I was yesterday. I refuse to be the person I was yesterday. I refuse that. I refuse that. I refuse to be the person I was yesterday. So I had to be greater every single day that I woke up. I had to do something in my previous day to take me to the next level. When I came to the next level, I had to do something again. I had to keep stepping my game up. I had to keep stepping my game up. Because I was struggling. I was having a hard time. I was having a hard time. I didn't even know how I was going to eat. And I still refused to quit. I still refused to go and work for somebody. I did it in season. I served in my season. I sat up under my elders and I learned. I got trained. I learned from masters. I learned from spiritual people. I learned from foreign people. I learned from people on so many different levels because I needed to be trained. And I went through that in my season, the season I was supposed to go through. That's what I did. And I was still struggling because I knew all these things. I seen things on a higher level. I couldn't understand why I wasn't manifesting what I saw into existence. And it came to me, tell your story. Speak. I don't have a nice, easy background. My father left me when I was 2 years old. 2. I spoke to him one time on the phone and he couldn't even remember my name. I don't have a good story. I lived with my grandparents when the day I left the hospital until I was 7 years old. I lived with my mother and my stepfather until I was 14. I went back home to live with my cousin in Louisiana, my aunt and my uncle. That didn't work. I went back to my grandparents. That didn't work. I moved back with my mom and my stepdad. You don't understand what it means to struggle. And I still was ambitious enough to keep grinding and keep going forward. I had my first child when I was 16 years old, and I love him with everything in my heart. Everything in my heart. Because he made me want to be greater. I graduated college at 19. I became a master cosmetologist. Licensed. I had 2 jobs waiting on me when I graduated college in 2 salons because I served 2 different salons. I served a salon for children and I served a salon for women. They both told me I had jobs when I graduated college when I went and got my license. When I went to get my license at State Board, I was the second person to walk out of the room. To walk out of the room. And I was mad because I wasn't the first one. I wasn't the first one. So I was mad. I was pissed off about it. And I decided to look at it a different way because the other female that walked out, she was melanated too. And we learned from the same teacher. So I said, it's okay, we on the same team. We're on the same team. So I decided to look at it that way. We're on the same team, so we are still number 1. Everything to me in my life was about me winning. The greatest thing my mother ever taught me was to run a race. To run a race. Because I could always look at her life and see that she was a star at everything that she did. She still continues to be a star because everything for her is about winning. She got a whole wall of trophies. A whole wall of trophies. So I'm looking at every aspect of my life as motivation, as a way. My life was going good. Then all of a sudden I woke up and everything I had was stripped from me. I didn't know the next move I was going to make. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to even help my own children. I had no idea. I had no idea. Nothing made sense to me. Nothing made sense to me. I just got out of another relationship with someone that I really love and care about. And that didn't work. You know what that did to me? I was getting it hard. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know what to do. I was down. I was out. I was having a hard ass time. I lost my best friend. I didn't get it. Felt like I was being stripped of every little thing that I loved, that I was attached to. Everything I loved and I was attached to, I was being stripped of. From my children to my life, to material possessions, to my business. I feel like I was being stripped of everything. Everything. I didn't get it. Why am I going through this type of frustration when I know that I see greater in me? And I wasn't ready yet. I went into prayer in the beginning of my journey and I told God, I said, don't give me what I see until I'm ready for it. Don't give it to me. So I knew that the struggle that I was going through because I told God in the beginning, don't give it to me until I'm ready for it. And I'm going to stand on it. I didn't know what it meant to be ready for that type of life, that type of lifestyle, being able to manage that type of money, that type of currency. And I said something to myself that I'll never forget that I said. I was sitting still, thinking, and just focusing on my vision. And it just all came clear. And I said to myself out loud, God, I am ready. Whatever it is that you want for me in my life, whatever you feel like is the best thing for me, including financial responsibility, I am ready. See, my call was bigger than what I was doing. My call had a lot to do with timing and me being able to answer something that I was supposed to be doing while I am here and being able to walk in it. God was calling me to a financial realm in my life to give me financial prosperity and financial wealth so I wouldn't have to struggle anymore. But it wasn't until I was ready to accept that calling upon my life. The only reason why I was motivated and inspired and ambitious to go through my struggle was because I had already seen myself there. See, we're not tempted by God or by anything. We're not tempted by God or anything. Anytime you see something is evident that it's already yours. When you see something, that means it's already yours. So even though I was going through struggle and I was having a hard time in life and finances and my family and my business, even though I was having a hard time, I had already seen myself accomplish these things already. So I spoke to myself when I was having a hard time. I felt this empty feeling in the bottom of my stomach, and I felt like, you know what? I can't take struggling no more. I can't do that anymore. I don't want no parts of that anymore. That is not a part of my life, and I'm not going to live that life anymore. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to live that life. So I'm going to look at myself living a greater life so I can actually live a greater life, because that's the life that God intended for us all to have. Whatever it is you see, that is what you're supposed to be living. So you have to walk in that, and you have to accept that. And until you accept that and you receive that from God, then you struggle. So that's why I was struggling. And when it came to me to share my story and to speak, I had to be obedient to what my spirit was telling me and not what I wanted to do. My spirit was telling me, you need to go ahead and record your testimony. This is my testimony. I have 3 beautiful daughters who inspire me. They inspire me to want to be a greater woman. When I look at them, I want to be a greater woman, because all I see when I look at them is greatness. I only see greatness when I look at them. So I speak to them and I tell them, hey, you can go to wherever you want to go to school. You can go to Duke. You can go to Yale. You can go to Harvard. You can open up your own business. You can leave here and go to the UK if you want. You can go to Africa. You can go to Paris. Whatever you want to do right now with your life, you can do that. You can do that. Because they inspired me every time that I saw them. I saw a younger version of myself. And I told myself when I was younger, whenever I had children, that I would tell them what I would have told myself. So I inspire them. And I didn't get it because they were taking my inspiration and looking at it like I was being hard on them. But I didn't care because, I just felt like if they are my children, they're going to be the greatest children that this world has ever seen. I mean, greatest children this world has ever seen. Because all I see when I look at myself is greatness. It doesn't matter what you go through. It didn't matter what I went through. Your hard time and your struggle, it builds character. It makes you strong. It gives you personality. It gives you strength. It gives you willpower. It gives you the ability to push forward. When people struggle and they see something else in themselves, they're going to push forward. I pushed forward because I saw something else. I could have just laid there, not got out of the bed, and did the shit the next day and the next day and the next day after that. I could have done that. But my spirit was like, get up. I almost lost my life in a car accident. I was lying in the woods. The vehicle had flipped over 5 times on the side of the interstate. I knew that I was somewhere else. And my spirit, I could hear my spirit right now. The same way I heard it that night, it says, don't lie here. Get up. Don't lie here, get up. So even death could not stop me from what I seen myself doing. Death couldn't stop me from seeing what I saw in myself. So even death had no hold on me. Death had no hold on me. Then I deal with my grandmother got sick. I leave, I go home to see her. And I knew that she was going to elevate me. So I spent as much time as I possibly could sitting around with her, talking to her, laughing with her, sharing my life with her, and giving her some of my joy, some of my happiness. That was a very empowering time in my life to be able to share that moment with my grandmother. I empowered her, and she empowered me. We empowered one another. When she transitioned and crossed over, I knew that she was ready. How do I know? Because when she was in the hospital, she grabbed my hand. She pulled me. She said, come here. She looked at me because she knew that I could understand what she was saying. She said, I've been ready to go, but my family's been holding on to me. So when she crossed over and she transitioned, I knew that she was ready to go. So when the time happened, yes, it hurt. I felt pain. That's part of my human nature. But I knew she was ready to go. She transcended to a different realm in the spirit. And she shared it with me. I was empowered by the loss of my grandmother. You can't put me down. You can't speak negative to me, because even someone close and dear to my heart, losing them has inspired me to go to the next level. And that's what I did. That's what I focused on. People are going to try to tear you down. People are going to come against you. People are going to fight you. People are going to do all types of malicious things to you. But you have to be focused. You have to trust that there's something greater inside of you than that's out here in this world. And that greater thing inside of you is going to make you turn up to a point to where you're going to become unstoppable. I knew I was creating millionaires. I knew I was creating billionaires. I was telling them who they were going to become. I was telling them who they were going to become. I was speaking my life into existence. Because it's not enough when you enjoy success by yourself. I told everyone that I was dealing with that I don't want to be successful alone. I want my whole team to win. I want every person on the team to win. I want to sit down at the table with my people. I want to eat with my people. I don't want to eat with people that didn't come up with me, that didn't believe in me, that weren't loyal with me. So I don't care if you don't get it. Talk to me. Let's figure it out. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Like, that's how I saw life. That's the energy that I gave life. I went through some bullshit. I slept in my car. I slept outside cold at night. I've been in my house cold. I've been in my house hot in the summer, sweating. I've been in the dark. I've been through things that don't even make sense for a woman to go through, but I was focused on grinding to get myself to the next level, so I didn't want no one to give me anything. I remember telling this man, look, it doesn't matter what you have. That's why I'm focused on growing my business. Because I don't want anyone giving me anything. You can't take from me what I started, the work I put in, because my energy is going to give back to me. My energy is going to give back to me. So it don't matter what you do or what you try, my energy is going to give back to me. This is my energy. This is my energy. So my energy is going to give to me. It's going to serve me. So I know I'm turning up. That means everything connected to me, everyone around me got to turn up. Because we all going to the next level. And we're going to go to the next level together. I didn't want to be one of those individuals who was like, I wanted to take everybody with me. But when I realized I couldn't, it was hard. But I try to make sure that when I get a chance here and there to put people on. I didn't want to be that person. I want to take my team with me, people that grind with me, because God told me to bless those who labor with me. So I want to make sure that those who labor with me go where I'm going. In all things. You have to be dedicated. You got to be dedicated to want to have a desire to have the desire to feed your people. I learned by putting myself in a different environment. I put myself in an environment of men. And I noticed that a lot of women stay out of the environment of men. But if you ever get in an environment of men who are building their business, who are out in the street, grinding, talking to people, moving around, you will find out something that you won't find out just by being around only women when you're a woman in business. And what I found out from being around men in business, I found out that they make sure that everyone on the team eats. It doesn't matter where it comes from. They make sure everyone on the team eats. So I picked this up and I put it in my life, put it in my DNA. It became part of my character to want to make sure that my whole team eats. That was my focus. And I'm telling you, even in my focus, man, I was struggling. I was having a hard time. And I made a decision that I was going to go all the way regardless. Regardless. That I was going to start doing things that made no sense to anyone. If they were going to look at me and say what I was doing wasn't going to make any sense, they were going to look at my life and say that it doesn't make any sense on any level. On any level. And since it don't make sense on any level, I'm going to go to the highest level possible that I can in my career. I'm going to talk to the highest level people I can in my career. I'm going to sit at the table with millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires in my career. Because if I'm going to do this, I'd rather do it on the highest level instead of the lowest level. And I'm tired of playing with it. So since I'm tired of playing with it, I need to go ahead and take this shit to the next realm. I was inspired. I was so inspired that I couldn't even go online on YouTube anymore and find someone to listen to motivate me no more. No one could motivate me no more. They couldn't motivate me no more. I was so inspired by what I saw. So I knew, since couldn't nobody motivate me no more, that it was time for me to come to the scene and start motivating other people. Because I became empowered through my struggle. And I noticed that everyone that was out there on the market, on the stage, that was sharing their story, everybody was telling the same story. The same story over and over again. Like, nobody gave me nothing. Nobody gave me nothing. I had a hard time. I was struggling. Trying to maintain my image so I could be out in the industry, I could win, and people could look at my brand and say, hey, yo, you did it, you made it. And I was struggling maintaining my image. Trying to keep something up for what? For people to like me? I didn't care about people liking me because I wanted my business to grow. I wanted my business to turn profit. So I didn't care about people liking me anymore. That's irrelevant. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to look unless you cut me a check. You have to cut me a check, or if you don't cut me a check, you have to at least pay for it. My grandmother said, if anyone ever tell you how you should look or you should look in a certain way, if they're willing to pay for it, then you should consider it. I called up a friend of mine and I said, look, I need to change my image. I don't know how I want to change my image. But if you could, from a male's perspective, could you tell me what would be the best look for me, and as far as being professional and a businesswoman? And whatever you suggest, I will take heed to your suggestion and I will do it. A couple days later, he said, look, lock your hair up. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So he gave me the number to the stylist. I called the stylist up. We talked. I was still in my head like, I'm not doing that. He called me. He reached out to me the following week. He said, look, if you would just try it, I will pay for it. So I went to the appointment because my grandmother had already told me if anyone has something to say about your image, if they're willing to pay for it, then you should try it. I tried it. I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I did something new and something different, and it empowered me. It empowered me to trust someone outside of myself as far as what would be the best thing for me. To listen to someone look at me and say, hey, I think that this would be the best thing for you. I was growing. I was learning not to care what other people thought about me. what they thought about my look, what they thought about my image, it didn't matter anymore. My brand is a brand that has been through struggle, who has been through just a rough time, a hard life, a woman, a mother, entrepreneur, daughter, a cousin, a sister. Like that's what I've done throughout the duration of my career. And I don't apologize for those things. So if it's about image on how I'm supposed to look or me looking a certain way, then I don't think I qualify. And I don't think I qualify anyway because I'm a boss. So I will never qualify because I set the tone. And I'm going to continue to set the tone as a leader. And I'm just empowering myself throughout the duration of my career to go, to push, to grind, to go harder, to move forward. Because we owe it to ourselves to live the life that we see. I owed it to myself for that. And I remember having a conversation with a friend, and I said, don't I deserve to live life in luxury? Don't I deserve that? And they looked at me, and they thought for a second, and they said, yes, you do. I said, I thought that I earned that right after all the struggle that I've been through as a woman. I knew that I was going to go to the next level in the time that I was going to go there. And it came to me to record this, and I was obedient to it. And the time frame of me recording and releasing came to me to make it happen very quickly, very abruptly. And I just obeyed that. Because I just feel like what I've been through, what I walked through as a woman, was not just for me. I know that it was for other people. I know it's hard when you don't know where you're getting your next meal from. I know it's hard seeing yourself in London and not knowing how you're going to get there. I know it's hard being on one side of the world and wanting to be on the next side of the world. It's hard. I know it's hard wanting to start a clothing line and not have the funds to do it. It's hard. It's not easy. Trust me, I walked through all these things. I spent some of my last on this vision that I see. Even at the cost of my own personal life. I knew when I reached a certain level in my career that it would take a very strong man to even deal with me. I knew that. And there was nothing I could do about it. That was the level that I grew to. You have to have faith. And you have to know why you were here. Because some are here to serve. Some are here to serve for a season. When your season is up, then it's time for you to lead. Know what season you are in. It's very important of knowing what season you're in. I knew what season I was in when I was in it. As hard as it was, I knew that. But you have to trust in your God-given abilities to live your life in faith, and that your gift will serve you. God gave me multiple gifts. And He said to be fruitful and to multiply. I multiplied the gifts that God has given me. And He said my gifts will serve me. I just received that. I'm so excited. I'm so honored for the opportunity to share my testimony with other people. I'm so excited that I had the guts and the ability to come out with my story. I'm so excited to impart into other people my ambition. I'm so excited to give you hope. I'm so excited to give you a reason to keep fighting, to keep moving, to keep pressing. I'm so excited to share with you that even on your worst days, you're still going to the next level. I have something for you, and I will continue to share with you my gift that represents all of my gifts, speaking. That my words will not return void, and that you will be empowered when you listen to me, that I will empower you to be very successful, to become millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires from my coaching. I will empower you to do that. All I need is time and the opportunity to share with you that all things are possible unto you. I can't do this by myself. I can't do this alone. I know I can't do it alone. I've tried. Help me help other people. Help me help other people. If you enjoy what I just said and it blessed you, and I know it blessed you, and I know it took you to another level, then sow a seed. Sow a seed so I can help people. So I can travel. So I can move around with my gift. Become my sponsor. Become my sponsors. Become my donate to the cause. It's been hard for me. I'm a melanated woman. I've written 10 books. I became a publisher. I'm an artist. I'm a novelist. I'm a brand. And out of all of those things, my greatest gift is being a mother. I write scripts, TV shows, films. I have a vision for a clothing line, high-end, on the runway. All I can do is share with you that when you become a part of my team, that you are guaranteed to go to the next level, because everyone who sits with me, I inspire them to prosper. I inspire them to prosper. I have seen everyone around me grow. I have seen everyone around me grow. When it's your season, accept it. Accept your season. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful to be able to have shared this with you. I am so grateful. As a Kundalini Reiki master, I am so grateful. Thank you. Empress MONISOI.